Good day, everyone. My name is Ivy T. Caballero. For today's video, I will talk to you about historical foundation development of education, industrialization, Muslims, and Islamic kingdoms. Historical development of education, industrialization. So what do you mean by industrialization? Industrialization is the process by which an economy is transformed from a primarily agricultural one to one based on the manufacturing goods. The first industrial revolution began in Great Britain in 1700s and 1800s and was a time of significant innovation. The Industrial Revolution led to innovation that included the assembly line, telegraph, steam engine, sewing machine, and internal combustion engine. In the Second Industrial Revolution, also known as the Technological Revolution, was a phase of rapid scientific discovery, standardization, mass production, and industrialization. From the late 19th century into the early 20th century, the Third Industrial Revolution or Digital Revolution began in the late 1900s and is characterized by the spread of automation and digitalization through the use of electronics and computers, the invention of the internet, and the discovery of the nuclear energy. And the Fourth Industrial Revolution represents a fundamental change in the way we live, work, and relate to one another. It is a new chapter in human development, enable extraordinary technology advances commensurate with those of the first, second, and third industrial revolutions. What does it mean in education? Education 1.0. The teacher is the authority in the classroom. The student is the passive recipient. The teacher-centered system. The teacher gives knowledge as the absolute leader in the classroom. Technology is forbidden in the classroom. In Education 2.0, communication and collaboration are starting to grow. Exam-based approach, the result is the examination, memorization of knowledge. An underestimated student-centered approach, we call it, but not to apply it. Some people think they stop talking about teaching and they talk about learning and learning outcomes, but they are still on paper. The schools are still talking about hours of teaching, but we should talk about hours of learnings. So in Education 2.0 includes more interaction between the teacher and student to student, and student to content expert. And some school administrator and educators seem to have taken some steps and moved into more connected. Creative Education 2.0 through using cooperative learning, global learning project, Skype in the classroom, and shared wiki, blogs, and other social network in the classroom. In Education 3.0, the teacher is transformed into coordinator, facilitator, advisor, learner, and practice guide. Student-centered approach. The student is researching. Flipped classroom method applies. More dialogue. Technology is everywhere. The student is self-learning and everywhere. The classical style classroom has no longer exists. Lesson plans are now called learning plans. So the teachers, learners, networks, connection, media, resources, tools create unique entity that has the potential to meet individual learners, educators, and even social needs. Students now have their own access to information, the option to learn virtually, and platforms to easily connect with faculty and other students. Education was no longer centered upon a back and forth between students and teachers, but talk on a more networked approach. What is Education 4.0? Education 4.0 is a desired approach to learning that aligns itself with the emerging fourth Industrial Revolution. This industrial revolution focuses on smart technology, artificial intelligence, robotics, of all which now impact on our everyday lives. For universities to continue to produce successful graduates, they must prepare their students for a world where their cyber physical systems are prevalent across all industries. This means teaching students about this technology as a part of the curriculum, changing the approach to learning altogether, utilizing this technology to better improve the university experience. So in Education 4.0, co-creation and innovation in the center, whenever and wherever, flipped classroom applied, interactive practical exercise, learning is done at home or outside school, while in school, students develop skills, development of personalized teaching and learning. Learning plans are now called creativity plans. The technology is free and easy accessible. Increase use or of virtual reality, continuous evolution and innovation, and therefore a need of continuous training, development of new skills by all. Historical foundation development of education, Muslims and Islamic kingdoms. Through Islamic history, education was a point of pride and field. Muslims have always excelled in. Muslims built great libraries and learning centers in places such as Baghdad, Cordoba, and Cairo. They established the first primary school for children and universities for continuing education. They advanced sciences by incredible leaps and bounds through sub-institutions, leading up for today's modern world. The first schools, Ibn Khaldun states in Muqaddimah, it should be known that instructing children in Quran is a symbol of Islam. Muslims have practiced such instruction in all their cities because it imbues hearts with a firm and its article of faith, which are from verse of Quran and certain prophetic traditions. So the very educational institution of Islamic world were quiet and formal. Mosques were used as a meeting place where people can gather around and learn scholar, attend his lectures, read books with him, hear, and gain knowledge. So some of the greatest scholars of Islam learned in such a way and taught their students in this way as well. All four founders of the Muslim schools of law, Imams Abu Hanifa, Malik Shafi'i, and Ibn Hanbal, gained their immense knowledge by sitting in gathering with other scholars, usually in mosques, to discuss and learn Islamic laws. Dating back at least 900s, young students were educated in a primary school called Maktab. Commonly, Maktabs were attached to mosque, where resident scholars and imams would hold classes for children. These classes would cover topics such as basic Arabic reading and writing, arithmetic, and Islamic laws. Most of the local population was educated by such primary schools throughout their childhood. After completing the curriculum of Maktab, students could go on to their adult life and find occupation. Madrasa, Arabic word for school. Madrasa were usually attached to a large mosque. At madrasa, students would be educated further in religious, sciences, Arabic, and secular studies such as medicine, mathematics, astronomy, history, and geography, among many other topics. So when the students completed their courses of study, they would granted ijazah, or a license certifying that they have completed that program that are qualified to teach it as well. Ijazah could be given by individual teacher who can personally attest to his her students' knowledge, or by an institution such as madrasa. In recognition of students finishing their courses of study, ijazahs today can be mostly closely compared to diplomas granted from higher education institutions. In modern history, madrasa and other classical forms of Islamic education continues until today. In the Ottoman Empire, for example, French secularist advisors to the sultans advocate a complete reform of the educational system to remove religion from the curriculum and only teach secular sciences. Former Ottoman Empire still runs education along European line. For example, what you are allowed to major in the university level depends on how you do on a certain standardized test at the end of your high school career. Universities such as Al-Azhar, Al-Qaroin, and Darul Ulum in Deoband, India, continue to offer traditional curricula that bring together Islamic and secular sciences.